TMZ actually managed to get their hands on quite a video and quite a story. A party organized by a retired LAPD officer at an Elks Lodge in Los Angeles featured a parody song. It was a parody of the 1973 song Bad Bad Leroy Brown, and they called it Dead Dead Michael Brown.
Michael Brown learned a lesson about a message with a badass policeman. And he's bad, man. Michael Brown, baddest thug in the whole damn town. Better than old King Kong. He done like junkyard dog. 2 minutes to the fight, and Michael punched him through the door. And Michael looked like some old Swiss cheese. His neck smattered on the floor.
Quote, Michael Brown learned a lesson about a messin' with a badass policeman. Michael looked like some old Swiss cheese. His brain splattered on the floor. Dead, dead Michael Brown. Dead, dead Michael Brown. They compared him to King Kong in there. They compared him to a junkyard dog. When I hear stuff like this, I don't think that there's a process of dehumanization of black people going on. I think the process is done. They're already fully dehumanized in some segments of society. Specifically, you could see here with retired police officers, and there's allegedly an internal investigation now going on with the LAPD. They released a statement denouncing this, and they said, yeah, we're looking into whether any current officers were at the retired officers' party. Yeah. And I'm sure when they come back and say that there weren't current police officers there, that everybody will believe it, and it's totally true, right? No. Who do police officers who are police officers now and who are retired police officers, who do they hang out with? Other police officers. But I know, it's just, it's not a cultural problem in the police department. It's just, there's just one or two bad people, and then, don't blame everybody for the actions of those people. And keep in mind, man, back during the Rodney King days, for example, there were people who were vicious in saying, to defend the cops. They did what they did not because they're racist, but they did it because they're trying to uphold law and order and they're doing the right thing. And yeah, they had to beat Rodney's ass for such a long time like they did. Really? Well, here you have a retired LAPD officer who was likely there at the time, and what? A party where they're singing joyously about a dead black kid? That doesn't tell you anything about the mindset of these people. Now, also, what's the rational response to this? How is a young black man supposed to process this? And how are they supposed to feel when they hear this? I don't know if you know this. Michael Brown was a human being. Yes, he made mistakes in his life. Yes, he was just like everybody else. Yes, we don't have all the information of his life to paint a total picture. So I'm neither defending him nor supporting him when I talk about him. But what I am saying is he's a human being. To sing about any human being other than maybe Adolf Hitler or Nazis joyously that they're dead. I mean, at best, being as kind as I can be to these people, the situation with Mike Brown, there are two sides to it. That's at best. At best, me being kind to them. There are two sides to it, and it's an up-in-the-air question as to whether or not the killing was justified. And you're going to sing about it? You're going to act like this isn't a serious issue? Again, the reason why I'm talking about this so much and why I'm harping away on it is that it shows you a mindset. Now, Malcolm X spoke about something similar to this, and today it seems like his comments were prophetic.
Commissioner Murphy, almost every statement that Commissioner Murphy makes would give you the impression that he's encouraging the police, rank and file policemen, that to take whatever method or measure is necessary to hold the Negroes in check. He feeds the type of statistics to the white public to make them think that Harlem is a complete criminal area, that everyone is prone toward violence. This gives the police the impression that they can then go and brutalize the Negroes or suppress the Negroes or even frighten the Negroes. Whenever something happens, 20 police cars converge on one area. This doesn't frighten Negroes. So it means that someone is either misinforming Commissioner Murphy and making him use tactics this year that he would not use 4 years ago, or that the former policeman Kennedy would not use. And this force that is so visible in the Harlem community creates a spirit of resentment in every Negro. They think they're living in a police state, and they become hostile toward the policeman. They think that the policeman is there to be against them rather than to protect them. And these thoughts, these frustrations, these apprehensions automatically are sufficient to make these Negroes begin to form means and ways to protect themselves in case the police themselves get too far out of line.
The cops begin to believe that black people are prone towards violence. That's what Malcolm X said. And that feeds into the tribal instinct, the tribal mentality, the idea that they're just not like us. These people are prone towards violence naturally, innately, genetically. And then what does Malcolm say? Well, of course, people in the black community, when they hear stuff like a joyous song about dead Michael Brown, when they hear that, you know what they say? Fuck it, I'm going to get a gun and I'm going to protect myself. What are you, crazy? There's no way I'm supporting an officer under any situation. And then when blacks fight back against this mentality and this brutality and this savagery and this barbarism, what do the white police officers do? They turn around and go, see, typical. We told you they were violent. It's the same kind of mentality that was prevalent during the lynching days. And Malcolm X speaks about this also, not in that clip, but at other times, how when you have somebody trying to lynch a black person and put a rope around their neck, and then the black person begins to fight back, then the white people say, see, disobedient, savage, barbaric black person, he's fighting back. He's fighting back because of what you're doing to him. How is that not clear? How do you not realize that? So what you do is you dismiss all of your savagery and barbarism and insanity and immorality, and you only focus on the so-called immorality in the black community. So you feel like you don't have to be accountable to anything because, again, with this tribal mentality, this in-group, out-group mentality, you feel like you are right by definition. So therefore, if we decide to have a party where we all get together and somebody sings about dead Michael Brown and his brain splattering on the floor, we think it's jolly and a good old time. When you get to a point where that's not something that makes the entire room get up and leave, where that's not something that makes people go, I don't want to be associated with this. When you're at that point, you're TFG. You know what that means? You're too far gone. If I had the authority, if I had the ability, I would dismiss as many people as I could in these police departments that have any record, any history of racism whatsoever, any history of police abuse, and I would set up programs that allow people from within a community to police their own community, because then they have associations and they have contacts and they have friendships with people in the community, and it's not an us versus them mentality. This is what we saw in Ferguson. We had a majority white police force in Ferguson when the overwhelming majority of the people in Ferguson are black. So it feels like there's an invading army dictating your life, telling you what you can and cannot do, and in that circumstance, you are living in a police state. It's not just in your imagination.